But for now, you're gonna be hearing my sexy voice for now. Okay? Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay? I know some of you wanted to hear Chris, but you know, you left for me. It's pretty much what it is until you know he does come back. It's more work for me, so I'm also feeling the same way. All right, so let's take a look at the games for now. Of course, as usual, we do have the boys from Afro and Citizens situated
All to do was change points.
camp. It does look like we're going to be having Chris back here. And Chris, are you there? I heard your voice for a second. All right, so we're already seeing a skirmish going on right there within boot camp, as the boys from Citizens and Afro Esports are already going toe-to-toe against each other. As you can see right there in the map, we saw that little flash. We also had the boys from CLS all the way around Mug 9, not too far away from one of the players from Fugitives Esports. It does look like that will be Money, who does get sent home by D14. In that particular one, the boys from 21st Century all the way towards that southeastern region, not too far away from the boys from Royal Academy. And then just in that south central region, you have the boys from Invictus and as well as Rage. Invictus, who will come to sit in all the way in the top of that leaderboard, as well as the boys from all three brothers situated in Painan. You have all the way in Ruins at the Solo Esports, and then Habitual situated around that Hatting region. Okay, so looking at the way things are situated right now, the boys from Harshness getting on to lose. Everyone's trying as much as possible to see if they can, you know, get prepared for what's going to be a really aggressive game. You know, today's that final day where different teams are looking and gearing up for who is going to be crowned champions at the end of the day. Apex has been totally strong throughout the entire tournament. You've also had the boys from 03 Brothers who are just lighting things up right here in the finals. But there's also Invictus. They're a new team, but regardless, they've been showing us that they are capable. They have exactly what it takes to perform at the top level. They have some veterans within the squad. They have, you know, the boys Shekwest. They've got Pinkwa. There's a players that have been within the Nigerian community for a very long time, and they're now beginning to show exactly what they're capable of. Now you're now seeing the boys from Harsh, you know, trying to make those rotations away from that region inquiry. Not too far away from them is Apex, who is currently just rotating around those environs, and we will see how that one continues to build up. We see on the kill feed the boys right there from Royal Academy, you know, getting stumped by 21st Century. We'll see how that one continues to build up. We got about 16 teams in the lobby right now. We still got about 61 bodies, so no team has been sent back packing so far. It does look like the boys from Harsh have spotted the guys right there from Apex. Might we see a little skirmish right here in this one? We'll see how that one continues to build up. Right there, it does look like the boys of Cyclone Shield have lost one of the players as well as 21 at Royal Academy in a little bit of exchange right there between the two of them. Harsh Esports begins a little exchange of shots with the boys from Apex, and it does look like they do want to take this fight. They want to get into it. They want to, you know, make sure that they can begin, you know, the onslaught right there with the boys from Apex. Around on the kill field, we do see that 21st Century, that the boys from SSD and Afro are also going toe-to-toe against each other right there. We do see a couple of the players from Afro get to send backpacking into the lobby, and Citizens also beginning on their onslaught as they do have 4 eliminations to themselves. So Afro Esports getting wiped by the boys from Citizens as Hunter finally gets taken out by Inez from Sidizens Esports right there, and they are continuing on with the gameplay that they've been having, or the good luck they've been having within that bootcamp region. They've been winning that fight over and over again. I'm not sure why, Afro keeps doing it. Maybe it's a thing of pride, I guess. But if we count the amount of times the Sidizens has won that particular fight in bootcamp, it's way more to the boys from Sidizens than it would have gone into Afro. All right, so we're seeing that map shift now as we are getting into our stage 2 of the map, and things are now beginning to get really spicy. We're seeing some knocks here and there, right there on the map. The boys from 21st Century have gotten another one, and they're continuing on with the fights that they're having. Baby is currently on the ground. It's left to Roy and Six Ben to somehow find a way to hold it out for the teammate. In this particular one, can Six Ben get that revive just in time? Baby's got in about three eliminations for the team, so he's being very vital for them in the particular push in this particular one. But unfortunately, they've lost one of the players. Royal Academy rotating, or No Rage Esports actually rotating around that environment, and we'll see what they continue to do here, how they continue to progress. Yeah, very tough one for a lot of these teams, as we're already beginning to see them lose 1 or 2 players. Cyclone Shield's lost one. The boys from Habitual have lost one of the players as well. 21st Century, have lost one, but they got 3 in exchange. So definitely, they're doing well for now. The boys from Sidizens are currently sitting out on top of this particular game as they've gotten themselves 4 eliminations, and everyone's now beginning those rotations. You can see one of the players right there from 21st Century has hopped into a vehicle. The boys from No Rage are quite in front of them, so they might be getting into a little bit of skirmish with them. They've also got to be very careful about the boys from Fowl Play, who are also within their environment. So I do believe they'll be trying to rotate all the way in from that western region to make sure that they can avoid the fights right there. All right, Pierce, are you here? Are you back? Are you back? But I heard something.
Should definitely worth trying.
All right, Chris, I heard something from your mic just now. I was wondering. Okay. All right, it is what it is. All right, welcome to the 21st Century, who have been getting into several different fights. Right here, now down to the last player. Six Ben goes down. Roy is somehow holding things, for them in this particular position. We've got a lot of teams around their environments. There's also the boys from Invictus who are not so far away, looking to see if they can get a wipe right there onto the boys on 21. And it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be, as 21 does get eliminated right there in 14th position. And we're now beginning to see several different fights just erupt at different regions. Speaking about fights erupting, we do have the boys from Foul Play making a move right here onto the boys from No Rage. No Rage left with 3 players up against a full team coming in from Foul Play. And Lone Wolf is currently alone in this particular region, coming up against DayG. He's looking for that knock, and down goes DayG. But it is Cutsy of PlayStation who does make that move. And right now, the boys from No Rage are now down to a 2-man team, but there's also the boys from Harsh who are also within this environment up against the boys from Foul Play. TQ and his boys will be looking to see if they can continue to get those kills or rack them up and move up on that leaderboard at the end of the day. They got a full man squad, and Harsh is right there in front of them. I'm not sure if they're aware if it's a full team, but we'll see. What happens in this one. The shot's already beginning to let loose, but not being able to connect as MSK is trying to get down the players right there from Foul Play. Also see on the kill feed the boys on Ulti and Solo going toe-to-toe with it. Ulti has gotten about 2 kills in that particular one. All right, here it is. The boys on Foul Play trying as much as possible to hold on against the boys from Harsh Esports, but the Invictus is also having something to say about that as they pull up into this particular position. Down goes Solo. Lone Wolf's really low right now. Tiki is trying to get that revive, but they're fighting toe to toe. They're trying as much as possible to keep them back, keep the boys from Invictus at bay. But Shekmas and his boys are known to be very aggressive. It's a three-way fight coming down here as the boys from Invictus are trying to get themselves into that zone, into that edge, hold that position. It's currently being held by the boys from Foul Play, and down goes TQ as Shekwes is continuing with the onslaught right there, but they've not been able to get that elimination so far. They've gotten 4 eliminations to themselves, and they're continuing to look like a team that wants to boost themselves up on that leaderboard, but they've got a strong force, a strong wall right there for the boys from Foul Play. And they've got to keep on going. You also got the boys from Habitual right here who are on ground, not too far away from the action so far, looking to get themselves into that one. We also see the boys from Invictus continue on with their onslaught as Neo does get a knock. Ooh, but Invictus not having quite a great time as Shekwes does go down. We see that on the kill feed, but Foul Play will be getting eliminated. But not before they're making Invictus feel their wrath as they do take down one of the best players right there, Shekwes. Hi, Pris, you back? I hear your mic. I heard something. Some people would have heard too. Hey. Okay, it looks like Pris is trying to... Okay, so it looks like Pris is trying to solve his mic issues. We'll continue on for now. Invictus Neo also is getting into the mix right there. Remember, they were really close to the boss from Harsh, and that's exactly what Invictus is doing right now. They're trying to continue to rack up those points, and they're getting it right here in this Sanhawk game. You can see kill after kill, team after team. They're making a push. They're getting going. They've gotten 10 eliminations to themselves already. We're sitting down on the top of that leaderboard, and if you're getting 10 eliminations, we spoke about it yesterday. If you're getting 10 eliminations in one game, that's equivalent to getting a winner chicken dinner. So obviously, you're doing exactly what it takes to find yourself all the way up on that leaderboard, and that's exactly where they're at. O3 has got to do a lot of work to see them catch up with the boys from Invictus right now, who are going absolutely toe-to-toe with everybody that they meet. We now see the boys from Harsh being eliminated from that particular region. That frees up the entire western region. They now have, you know, some houses to work with just in between, you know, Ban and the boys from Sidizens that they can rotate into. So great stuff coming in from Invictus as they continue to put in the work. All they got to do is now rotate in quite well, get a little bit of placement points, and boom, they would have had, you know, a great game. Some people come in, they get a chicken dinner, and you know, at the end of the day, they leave with about 15 points. They've already got 12 points to their name, so they're doing absolutely amazing. You just see the boys from Vibe Gaming just pretty much in between the boys from MOB and another team, you know, just waiting it out, looking for that opportunity. They're pretty much just edging it right now. They usually land around that paradise spot. They're not really looking like a team that is looking for the kills. I do believe that they want to, you know, play it quite cautious, play it quite careful, you know, just bait around several different teams who might be making their rotations and get those kills. That does look like the plan of a team that's just taking around the grass right now, you know, just outside paradise, just waiting for who's going to fall victim. And that team that may fall victim might just be the boys from MOB, as we're seeing them rotating around this particular environment. We'll continue to keep an eye and see, you know, how this continues to develop. Okay, so they say there's a noise on our mic. I'm going to... You know, make sure it does go down. We see that on the kill feed, but Foul Play. Since they do take down one of the best players right there, Shekwes. Okay, so there was some static on my mic, and I do believe it's one of my phones that's causing that static. I'm not really sure which one of them it is. But guys, do let me know on the charts if the static is still available. I'm gonna continue to try to, just cast it on until Priest comes in and joins us. But yeah, let's take a look at the Boston Fugitives right here. Trying to send on that nade onto the Boston Habitual. And my goodness, that nade does take down two players in this Death Fury and Cycle who both go down in this particular position. And will they be making the push? You can already see that, yes, that's exactly what they're doing. For 1-9 has to jump out of that building to try to hold things down, but the Boston Fugitives will be taking out Habitual in that position. But the Boston CLS has spotted this one and now getting into the fight right there. And boom, the Roach gets into that one. He takes down not one, but two of the players right there from Fugitives. And this is where CLS can come in as the Children Horses and take out the Boston Fugitives, who've been doing quite a great job, by the way. But courtesy of CLS, they're now down to just the one player who is currently up to somehow find a way to hold things down for them. It is just fixed.
Cyclone Shield enjoying themselves from that northern position. Ladies and gentlemen, it is still me. I am back. I did have a significant lot of technical difficulties, but I have been able to sort them out. Big shout out to Fire for carrying us through. The play zone is very, very hectic right now. You can see the guys from Vibe on that western side getting a little bit of violence sent their direction from the guys from Men of Blood Lobby, still holding out. Again, the play zone has moved a little bit central, and now these teams will be finding a way to move right through there. Lobby is going to catch himself in a 1 versus 3 here. The guys from Vibe are not letting out. They do have the numbers advantage. Might just use this one to pull right through there. Iceman will pop through. But Lobby is ready for him. Again, the advantage will be coming in for the guys from Vibe here. They do have the numbers, and now Lobby is getting swarmed. Iceman, again, going to move from the left-hand side, but Bougie is the first to go down, and another one will not go down there. Vibe will take the initiative and eliminate the guys from Men of Blood.
Gameplay coming on every single corner, but speed of my man gameplay, we've been seeing the boys from Invictus go toe-to-toe against several different teams right here, and now we're seeing them just eaching to take on a fight with several different teams around this environment, such as the boys from CLS who are just lurking around this particular position. My goodness, Chris, let's take a look at the amount of eliminations that the boys from Invictus currently have. We still got about 18 bodies in this one, and they're currently sitting down with 12 eliminations to their name. The only team that has full bodies are the boys from Apex, but Apex hasn't gotten any action so far, and that's probably why they still got their full team, with them. The other teams who have gotten into the action have, dropped bodies. But what are you going to say about this one?
I believe Team Apex, not necessarily used to this kind of map rotation, because Sanok is not necessarily, the first map of the day, from the junior league to the senior league. We've had usually we've had the Ranjul, and yesterday we had Miramar kick things off. The first day we did have the Ranjul start the games. So I believe, the guys from Team Apex are just biding their time. They've seen that, they can get a couple of eliminations and possibly a chicken dinner if they can keep all of their players up. As you can see, the guys from the Sidizens will be sent out immediately as well, going out there in 8th place. But again, it gets trickier, because Invictus is still here, holding on. They've been holding this first place position from day one. And I told you, when we've been watching tournaments in the past, we've barely seen something like this happen. A team take first place on the first day and then continue to hold it on to the last day. Now that is what you call domination. So big shout out to the guys from Invictus. But you did talk about Team Apex, and they do have 4 players up, but then there's not a lot of eliminations left for them in the game. So the best bet would be to win the chicken dinner to at least secure, double-digit points. And I believe they already have that idea starting to work out as they send the guys from Fugitive out there in 6th place.
Dude, something out of their hat to be able to perform in this particular game, to be able to grab those points. But 2 other players have currently been dropped down right now. They're going up against the boys from Invictus. As Pinto goes down, he gets confirmed by Roach. But right now, if they're going up against the boys from Invictus, it will be a 2v2 situation. But it does look like the revives are going to be going down right there for the boys from Apex. Temp looking to see if he can spot any of the players right there from Apex, but it doesn't look like it. He's about to send on the nades, but he might just be sending it towards a wrong angle right there, as he's not able to get an knocks for himself. The zone is pushing up onto the location. It's a 2v4 against the boys from Apex. Might they be able to pull out a game from the hat right here? But man, Priest, it is looking like Apex might just be able to steal this one.
Yeah, Team Apex are caught between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea here, because Cyclone Shield is still out there, just hanging on. They will be finding a way to get inside of that play zone. But again, Invictus just have a plentiful, morale and position. They've already secured themselves 15 eliminations. There is no performance that Apex will have here that will match that, even if they win. And again, Invictus continue to send the shots towards Team Apex, but the return from Blessing is superb and supernatural, as the guys from Apex continue to hold on. Finally, 0-3 succumbing to the play zone. It is going to be Griff swept away there in 4th place, and now we're down to 3 teams: Team Apex, Cyclone Shield Esports, and the guys from Invictus. But now Stoner is going to be the thorn in the side of our Team Apex there, as Starlight is going to be sent back into the lobby. Invictus again, and now Cyclone Shield getting on the mix. Team Apex losing players one after the other. They're falling left, right, and center, and somehow Roach and Stoner have made it inside of the next circle. They're 5 meters out, and Blessing is knocked down as well. And now Invictus might just use this opportunity to clean right in, but no, it is going to be Wizard that claims the battle there for Team Apex. But Cyclone Shield will be stealing it. They will be stealing the chicken dinner away from Team Apex, but they did almost have it in the bag. And Cyclone Shield will be getting the first chicken dinner of the final day of the finale of the WAPL. Fire, I did not see that coming. 9 eliminations to Cyclone Shield. They even outperformed Team Apex with a 2-man team. How do you explain that? How do you explain that?
And going to that final circle, you would expect that Apex would be able to clutch that particular one, having the bodies that they did, and knowing the caliber of players that they have in that particular position. But coming up against Invictus, they were absolutely almost outgunned. Against what was a 2-man squad, but they had the better position, and they took advantage of that. The zone was coming, and we know how OP the zone is sometimes. The zone does drain their health, and Cyclone Shields coming in from an off angle right there, were able to get those little bit of knocks to win that game just at the right moment in time. So kudos to them, great stuff for getting into that position. I do believe that's his 19 points. It should count a lot for them on the leaderboard.
Yeah, big counts for them on the leaderboard, surely. But let's not forget about Invictus with 15 eliminations. I mean, every day, every single day, Invictus has turned up. Now, this is another turn-up performance. This is another stretch away. They are one step closer to being crowned champions of West Africa. That is what Invictus is trying to do right here with every single elimination that they get. Even if the chicken dinner is not prioritized, they get points every single time. This is what I talked about, the fantasy of the guys from Invictus continuing to dominate every single game. But that says a lot, based off of their performance so far. I am so impressed, and hopefully we will be catching them in the next game. And I believe the next map will be Erangel. Orangel should be the next map, hopefully. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the WAPL. We're 1 game down. There's 3 games left before we crown the champion of West Africa. Ooh, Roach is the MVP, surely. I did see a fantastic performance coming in from him there. He had 7 eliminations by himself out of the 9 for the guys from Cyclone Shield. So yes, he was a tactical performer, and he has been actually the most tactical performer, for the guys from for Cyclone Shield. I believe he has that ability to survive the longest lockdown. I believe that's why he called himself Roach.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the whole idea is very hard to die, very hard to kill, and obviously get those eliminations as well. So definitely great stuff, to Roach right there. I'm not sure what it is. It does look like there's a mistake with the logo right there, but I'm sure that will be corrected eventually. But yeah, what a gameplay coming in from Roach right there, getting 7 kills all on your own for your team is a very tough feat, and you can see what that's definitely going to mean for them on the entire leaderboard by the time we take a look at that.
Yeah, you know, I'm super impressed with Roach's ability to survive. Honestly, he has been absolutely fantastic for the guys from Cyclone Shield. But you know, with all of this still going on, Invictus are still continuously, you know, that team. They are still continuously putting numbers on the board. So I would love to see what the leaderboard will be looking like, you know, after these set of games. I don't know if everyone got an idea of what the leaderboard was, you know, before we kicked into today's games, you know, owing to the fact that we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. But I think moving into, you know, this game, everything will be sorted out and fixed.
All right, so speaking about the guys who got pretty much what was the most eliminations in that particular game, it's the boys Invictus coming on with 15 of those eliminations, as you can see right there, with a 2,000 plus damage. My goodness, Priest, like they were absolutely outstanding right to the very end. They got placement points for themselves. They got 15 points. I think they're walking away from this game with about 20 points in total. And I mean, what do you think that's going to do for them on the leaderboard? I mean that brings them way closer to 100 if they haven't surpassed it by now.
You know, there is a chance, you know, that the leaderboard will, you know, remain a little bit solidified. You know, just I think one more performance like this will do the trick for the guys from Invictus. I don't know, you know, how far it would be for them to be thrown off course, you know, after having a performance like this. But Cyclone Shield, Citizens, Team Apex, you know, also putting in the work, and I believe these are the teams that like to cook on the last day. So Invictus need to be ready, because I believe any poor performance from them will be punished, you know, by any team that is chasing them from behind. So there's a chance, you know, that the league is not is not solidified just yet. You can take a look there. You know, Invictus will be totally 101 points. You know, and I told you, Fire, that 120 should win the league for you. You know, that was what I said. 120 points should win the WAPL for you, but it's not looking like you 120 might be enough, you know, based off of the performances so far. But I believe if Team Invictus should cross 120 points, that should do the trick. But then the rest of the team's Fire, how do you think you know, this continuous domination from Invictus will make them feel? Do you think they will give up now, or you know, what do you think will be the strategy to boost morale right now?
I think Invictus has been one of those teams that has been, you know, sort of should I say, underestimated a lot. You know, they had a very good run within the junior league, and everyone was just like, oh, you know what, it's a junior league. And they had a time where they had a difficult moment within, you know, the senior league, and then on came Shekwes. And it made Shekwes came into the team. It just felt like everything just started to click. He was that missing link for them. And you can now see within their gameplay, they're a bit more aggressive. They're a bit more, you know, determined when they make their push. They're not holding back, and they're you know, just playing like they're very fluid right now. You know, so I think what a lot of these other teams are feeling right now is a bit of that shock, because when you look at the boys on 03, when you look at Apex, right, when you look at, you know, Citizens, you look at 21st Century, those are the teams that you would be thinking, hey, we'll be sitting down in that 1, 2, 3, you know, 4 or 5. But Invictus has just changed the ball game. You know, in fact, Invictus is doing what people thought that Apex was going to be doing. So it's a bit. I don't know the word. I know Go School reached to know the word where I go is explain. What's going right now? But lovely stuff regardless.
Yeah, you know, I believe Harsh Esports, you know, Fowl, No Rage, Solo, all of these teams need to step up their game, at least crack into that top 10. The performances that they've been delivering so far is not worthy of a final. They need to do more. The points need to, trickle all the way down. Even the Citizens, they did have a good performance in the last game, but they need to be consistent with it. They've been eliminated early too many, subsequent times, and it's already starting to dole on them on the leaderboards. But surely, I do know for a fact, the Harsh Soldiers and Fowl play just cannot win the league anymore. But I cannot talk about No Rage again. I will never say anything about No Rage again. Make I no go talk the one where they go use collect my money again for real. Cause the last time I talked about No Rage not qualifying, they did 16 eliminations and the chicken dinner got 40 points. They got 40 points that was needed, and they made it into the final. So, maybe they're just waiting to cook some more. But it's been a long ride for them though. After that performance they had on the last day, but I'm very impressed with them. They've come this far.
Love it. I love it. Oh yeah, good job. Good job.
DG is the man though. DG will just go on there and do like 40 eliminations. You go just surprise. I will go sleep. I will go and rest. If they do like 40 points again. If No Rage finish in the top 10, I would be impressed. At least if they finish in the top 10, I would be solely impressed. Heavily impressed actually. Yeah, I would be solely impressed if No Rage do qualify into the top 10. I would be very, very impressed. I think the WAPL ranking actually filters into the AEC and the AEL, I think, somehow, but I'm not sure just yet. But I think the WAPL will have a little bit of something to do with the AEC or AEL. Maybe even the AEC West qualifiers, something like that. I believe this tournament would have something to do with that, but as we continue to move through, we'll probably find out along the way, what this is going to mean. But for the meantime, I believe we should go on a break though and get ready for the next game. Our production is a little bit. What did they say?
Yeah. We'll take a quick break, guys.
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, we should.
All right, see you guys soon. the game. You get to see us, after this one. All right, so we're already beginning to see, several different teams getting, really close to each other. There's Afro, there's the boys from Sidizens, there's Habitual, and I do believe that is Fugitives Esports all the way around that environment around Farm. You also have the boys from MOB within, that same vicinity. Our current top leaders on the leaderboard, Invictus, which are the guys that we're keeping an eye on, not so far away from Royal Academy, all the way up at Rosehawk with Vibe Gaming as well. So yeah, great stuff. This map is looking pretty interesting and exciting for finale.
Yeah, the map is fun. It is a very fun map, for game 2. But it is going to be very, very interesting, though, to see how these teams will be navigating these positions. And our technical team, I do not know why we are seeing a Sanok preview on the right, but we are actually playing an Erangel game, please. Ladies and gentlemen, do not fret. You can see that northern side just being occupied by the guys from Invictus. It looks like they will be having Vibe just very, very close to their position. And they will be enjoying themselves, just holding out, at least for the time being. It will be very interesting for them to succeed and continue to perform very, very well. But again, that whole eastern area is occupied by a plethora of teams: Team Apex, Afro Esports, and the Citizens. They are all there. They're all just chilling on that eastern side. And it looks like, there will be a lot of engagements coming in from that area. But again, it will be very, very, very interesting to see if they will be holding out and enjoying that particular position. As you can see, the guys from Vibe anchoring very, very close to Invictus, Rozok, and the school area. It looks like these two teams might just get into something as well. But Fire, there's so many teams actually, with each other right now. You can see Cyclone Shield with the guys from Fowl play. You can see Invictus with the guys from Vibe. Who do you think is going to kick things off first? All of these teams are in the same general position. So who do you think will kick things off first?
I do think that Vibe Gaming is definitely going to get into something. They're usually one of those teams that shy away from taking on that early fights. We have seen them over the course of the season get into very early skirmishes. Now whether that's successful or not is another thing. But they are one team that loves to get into those little bits of fight. So we'll keep an eye on that one and see how it continues to develop. There was some Fowl players as well who are they do tend to find themselves in situations where they have to battle it out and fight. We might see them get into one also, as we did see a team really close to Primus, so they might get into a fight here and there. But we'll continue to see how that one builds up. I also see this is not too far away from Afro Esports. So yeah, those are the lead to things that could happen here and there.
Well, foul play, just eagerly hanging around this area. It is two teams that do love to play, in that position, especially that Primorsk area is up for grabs. There's a whole lot of bodies still situated around Ferry Pier as well. Harsh Esports will be holding out that general direction, that general position. It will be up to them though to decide, where they will be navigating to next. The guys from Vibe still occupying school, just waiting out. The guys are from Invictus as well. They might just take a little bit of their sweet time to get their rotations through and to get some loot in the bags, as that will be a defining trajectory, to guide whatever play style they choose to, hold on to, at least holding on for the time being. But again, there is going to be a lot of bodies that will dictate the force of play here. We've still got 16 teams inside of the first phase of the circle. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the WAPL. Invictus heavily leading the charge. 100 points clear. But 0-3, will they have something to say? Will Invictus bottle the lead? So much more action coming through for you. But Fire, what do you think? Do you think there's a whole lot of pressure on Invictus to perform now? They're leading, everything is working out for their good, but do you think they still have a lot of pressure on them, or do you think they've alleviated a lot of the pressure based off of their performances so far?
I think that they in I mean, if they were in 90-something points, I would say yes, they'll be under pressure. But they're in a spot where they could have one bad game at least. They could have one of those. 120 points totally is probably the ideal place where they need to be. They can still win it with a lot less, depending on what happens to, guys like O3, Apex, who are currently, beneath them. If one of those guys gets taken out quite early, doesn't have like a tremendous game, then yes, they are pretty safe. But to just keep things relatively safe for them, I do think that they need to get themselves 20 points totally over the course of the few games. Now, if they leave this game with 5 points, it's still okay for me. If they leave this game with 7 points, it's still fine. But regardless of that, we did speak about the boys of Fowl Play getting into, a little bit of skirmish right there. We do see Danny Brown taking down one of the players from Fowl Play as Lone Wolf currently does go down. Danny Brown does seem like, a player who's just been rejuvenated so far, as he's just been, on fire since yesterday. He's been getting knock after knock as he does take down TQ right now, all on his own. He's taking down 2 bodies from the boys right there from Fowl Play, and not just anyone. He's taking down TQ. He's taking down Lone Wolf, 2 players who are absolutely amazing for the team Fowl Play.
Ooh, you can see Danny Brown, the CQC merchant, already selling dreams to the guys from Fowl Play. He's already sold 2 dreams, and the guys from Fowl Play have purchased the lobby there for themselves. It's all down to Solo and PlayStation 5. Danny Brown is the one who knocks right here, and he's starting to knock on the door of the guys from Fowl Play as he sends TQ and Lono back into the lobby, but PlayStation 5 will get tagged up there, and Danny Brown will take the advance. He will pop through a couple of shots through there. Again, he will connect a couple, and he will send PlayStation 5 to his knees. And there goes PlayStation 5 falling again like he's falling in love. Cyclone Shield on the attack. One after the other, they hop into vehicles. This might just be the end of Fowl Play once again, getting eliminated very early. And that is what happens when you take another position. I talked about this earlier today with Crowns, actually. We talked about the guys from Fowl Play always picking a landing position that is going to be very, very controversial and compromised, as Danny Brown will be wrapping things up. And that is the end of Fowl Play. They did get a knock there on Manny, but Stoner is there to complete the treble. And that is going to be a fantastic one coming in from the guys from Cyclone Shield. 4 eliminations to them, Fire. And it looks like they are not quitting just yet.
Need to replicate some great performances that they had throughout the entire season. But you just have to give that one to the boy right there, Danny Brown, getting himself 3 eliminations, being the CQC god as you definitely have proclaimed him to be, getting those eliminations right there. He's gotten 3 eliminations for his team, obviously boosting their morale as they do take out the players right there from CLS. We also seen fights just erupt at several different points within this game, as we can see the boys from Afro, getting into a little bit of skirmish right there with the boys from Invictus, as they do get a knock onto one of the players. It is Temp who does go down, and they'll continue on with the onslaught, and we're beginning to see bodies dropping throughout the entire map.
Bodies start to drop and hit the floor as Gaudier will get blown up by Samurai there from Solo Esports. And that's not an engagement we've actually seen a lot of during this final, Solo versus the Citizens, but it is going to be reaping itself, or rather sowing itself into the discord of violence today, as Solo Esports will be claiming that one just from that position. But now the play zone will be shifting a little bit towards the south again. The military base is heavily in place, and that is going to be a blessing for the guys from 21st Century. As you can see, they've already marked a territory, they've marked a position inside of that zone. By the other side of the bridge, Afro Esports doing the exact same thing on the northern side. And that might just be a clash. Afro Esports versus the guys from 21st Century. There's a chance that might happen. But before that, Habitual Gaming getting sorted out by the guys from Harsh Esports here. Misty just holding out behind the red line side there. My spot 419. The moment decides to peek out, but Shad will be holding a high ground on the left-hand side. And it is going to be a very easy push for the guys from Harsh Esports if they can maintain a clear sight line onto Habitual Gaming. So far, only 3 players are being visible within view for Habitual, so they have a lot of work to do if they're going to keep the guys from Harsh, at bay. numbers advantage. It might not just be working for them, as they will be converging a little bit closer there, as Misty will be spraying inside there, trying to catch a couple of shots towards a 419, but he will make it out of dodge again. A nice spray, just a little bit of a touch there. It is trade, but Archie Sports will just will have to live to find another angle to navigate from.
From Harsh Esports. Tried as much as possible to keep the boys from Habitual at bay. You can see Shad, who has been sort of what is a revelation for the boys from Habitual throughout the entire WAPL, is looking to see if they can continue to grab themselves, those points that are quite needed to perform in this particular one. We also see on the kill feed the boys right there from Invictus getting into the mix. They do have two buddies who currently dropped down. They're fighting probably what is a three-way fight with the boys from Vibe Gaming, and they're trying to hang on to this particular game. Is probably not looking, quite great for them. We'll continue to see what that does mean from this game. But we spoke about this Priest, right? Even if Invictus goes out of this game, right, they get themselves 5 kills and they get dropped out of this particular game. It's still fine, and you can see them. I think it's mission, successful. They've got themselves 5 kills. So though they're with the last man, even if they get eliminated, they're just 15 points away from that 120.
Yes, but yes, actually, you can tell, that the guys from Invictus already have a strategy and a plan, and it's starting to work in their favor, as they continue to deal damage to the rest of these teams one after the other. But again, Invictus should be ready. They should be careful, though. They should not allow the guys from 03 Brothers, for example, to have a delirious performance, because, them getting 5 points and getting eliminated now is not a lot of activation points difference, if 03 or Cyclone Shield tend to, perform exceptionally. So it's still going to be a matter of how well, the teams that are chasing them down perform. As you can see, 21st Century still be holding out the bridge here. They are spreading out thin a little bit too close to the shore there, but they will be playing this bridge to comfort and perfection. They do know, this area very, very well. It is their landing position, so it will be working out for them, at least for the time being. But you can tell that one of these teams that will be pulling up to their location, you can see Baby will be getting dropped there and confirmed by Coco. Afro Esports have somehow made it across, as the spray from 6Ben is elite, but it doesn't connect. Again, 21st Century now on the back end. There's 3 players down, and now is the opportunity for 6Ben to do something. Jumps right behind cover there, but he is going to be tagged up heavily. But it will be switching to the grenade. It's an opportunity here for 6Ben to do his best. Oh, that's a fantastic grenade, and it is going to connect to Coco there, but Hunter is there to the rescue. And surely will be confirming 6Ben, but 21st Century do have the opportunity here to play devil's advocate. As you can see, Power and Roy, the last 2 up, but they are just too far away. They cannot do anything about it. They lose yet another set of players, and there's 2 players up for 21st Century. Now, this is not a fortunate scenario for them, owing to the fact that this is their area of the map. It is just a little bit north of military base. I thought they would have this one in the bag, but unfortunately they are just falling a little bit short. As you can see, Roy will be making a rotation north. They will be prioritizing the play zone, at least for the time being. So hopefully we'll see how that will pan out for the rest of them.
Yeah, absolutely. The boys from Afro Esports somehow able to keep their 3-man squad in this particular one and get those eliminations that are needed to continue to push themselves all the way up in that leaderboard. We do see in 13th place the boys from Habitual Gaming getting sent back into the lobby, and this is exactly what you want to do, if you want to reduce the teams around there. I do believe it's the boys from Harsh Esports, who were in that skirmish with them. Or was it? Okay, I probably got that one. Wrong. They probably rotated away from them. But we're now seeing teams now rotating towards that final circle. The boys from Solo Esports are holding a great position right there, as the boys from Afro are also now beginning to hop into the vehicles to rotate into that particular spot. You also have sailors coming all the way from that southeastern region, and they've got some buildings to work with. So it's looking very, very much like this game is going to, go to either Team Apex, Cyclone Shields again, Solo Esports. Solo's not known to be that team that closes out games, they've not done it quite often in the entire competition. So my money's not going to go on them. It's either going to be between Cyclone Shields and Apex.
Yes, sir. Apex and Cyclone Shield already in the running forward, but you can see Starlight will be getting knocked away by the play zone. They are very, very close by the edge, and that is the danger of playing the edge there. But all three brothers have pulled up inside of that southeastern side of the play zone, and they might just be the thorn in the side of Team Cyclone Shield there, as Reels and Nexus will be working hand in hand just to hold out that area there. But Reels, it will be tapped in again, and a couple of sprays sent in that northern position. But now is the opportunity for the guys from 03 to find someone inside of the play zone to work with. Nexus will be moving away just a little bit northern, and Reels will be following suit. They will be moving in towards the guys from Solo Esports, and an engagement might just brew in the charge there. But Royal Academy not slipping through unnoticed this time around. They will be losing yet another player. It is Tokyo to Fowl, and it's all left to Lyrad right there. The last player for Royal Academy, I believe. They do have 2 eliminations, have set their eyes onto the guys from Harsh. Misty will be spotted, and sprays will be sent towards that general direction, tagging Misty up a little bit there. But again, Team Apex falling to the play zone. They are just by the edge, just too close to the edge. And there goes Wizards in as well. And now Team Apex, unfortunately, starting to go down under. They've lost 2 players to the play zone. It looks like they will not be getting a survive there. Daddy pulls up to the north-hand side behind Lyrad there, and Harsh Esports might just be creeping a little bit closer. They are outside of the play zone, and it might just be an opportunity for them to make it inside. The only person that can stop them is the last player for the guys from Royal Academy, and it's not looking like it's going to be a possibility here, Fire, because the numbers advantage. Harsh Esports have more than 1 player alive. They have the entire team alive, and they might just decide to pull up to that position. Ooh, but it is going to be Solo Esports actually that catch a whiff of the last player from Royal Academy there, as he will be going out. Sweet.
Solo. Yeah, absolutely. The boys from Solo just absolutely aggressive in that one, looking for that third-party kills, looking to farm around them, and that's exactly what they do. They want to, continue to grab those points. We do see 21st Century getting sent out of the lobby, but we got to speak about all 3 brothers and the boys right there from Team Apex. These are the teams that are currently looking to get all the way up and challenge the boys from Invictus, but they were not able to get those points. Definitely Apex has been dropped out of the game. We do see the boys right there from 03 currently sitting out in this game with just about 1 kill. They've lost 2 of their members. It doesn't look like they might be able to grab those points out of this game. The boys from Apex are currently 13 points away from 120. They managed to even grab themselves those eliminations to continue to boost themselves up on that leaderboard. So definitely all 3 looking at that will be telling themselves, hey, you know what? We need to get ourselves some points out of this game. We've lost the buddies, but maybe we can get those placement points to continue to keep ourselves really close to the boys from Invictus.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of work, that Invictus, has to do so far, but they've done their best. They're already out of the game. But again, Cyclone Shield are still holding out. 03 is still here as well. But Cyclone Shield and Solo, the only 2 teams with a complete team here, and somehow Afro Esports is still in the mix, but unfortunately, Nexus will be discovered and found out, courtesy of Maddie there, and that will be the end of the guys from Cyclone. 03 brothers, actually, they go out there in 6th place with 1 elimination, and that is not the kind of performance they need out of the gate. Again, the guys from Invictus are still outperforming 03 brothers, with that, with them going out there in 6th place with 1 elimination. It does not tally up to the 5 eliminations the guys from Invictus already had. So again, they continue to extend their lead even further, except the guys from Cyclone Shield will wake up and do something amazing, in this game. There's still 14 players in the cut right here. There's 4 teams, and Cyclone Shield is one of those teams with a significantly high number of players, but then Afro Esports and the guys from Solo, it looks like they might just be clashing into each other, and Jags hopped into the shack just to hold on a little bit longer there, as Doctor will be popping a little bit of a smoke through that corner, but Coco will be sending Samurai back into the lobby, and Afro Esports starting to purge right through. They are a 3-man team of this. They've leveled the playing field against themselves, but then Jags is there for the cover fire as well, drops Hunter immediately, and the guys from Solo Esports might just be using this opportunity to pop right through. Doctor is handing out the grenades for himself as well. He is going to be popping right through the shack right there, but the S12K is there for Peachy as he knocks down Doctor. Beautiful play away for the guys from Afro Esports. They're cooking right now as again he is going to be popping through with the S12K again, and he tries again and he connects yet another one, and he connects the third. It's Afro Esports Peachy, the MVP for Afro, single-handedly eliminating the guys from Solo Esports, and with the help of the S12K, he has cleansed their palettes, and now Cyclone Shield might just use this opportunity to hold out the play zone as Men of Blood are still on the eastern side. Fire.
This stuff coming in from Peachy right there, as he was able to, like you just said, single-handedly take out the boys from Solo. We talked about this. Solo is not quite good at, just finishing those games, even when they do have the amount of bodies that are quite needed. Afro Esports have got to now get themselves into a great spot within that particular zone. Manny might just be the one to, play spoiler for them, as he's got an off angle right there that might cost them some trouble. The boys from Men of Blood already beginning to send on the shots onto the boys from Afro Esports, and also are looking to cause them some trouble as they do hope to rotate into the zone, but definitely taking that particular region now will no longer favor them. You can see Hunter hopping into his vehicle. He does spot Nani and decides to just go on at another angle right there. Roach currently been knocked down for the boys from CLS. Will this be the opportunity for the boys right there for Afro to begin to make the push onto that position? It doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, as they do decide to take on the boys from MLB.
Ooh, Afro Esports still have been cooking, and it looks like the food might just be done. Roach is still knocked away, and there's a lot of work that will be required to get him all the way back up. A Stoner will be hanging back, just trying to defend this position against the guys from Afro Esports as they continue to lay the law down. There's an AWM inside somewhere there, and I believe it is belonging to Hunter, and that is going to be a very dangerous weapon falling through, but I believe Danny Brown might just get that revive onto Roach, in that position, but Roach will be crawling away to his demise, and he will be receiving damage and sent back into the lobby, unfortunately. But now the play zone claiming yet another player for the guys from Men of Blood, and now he's going to be spotted by Stoner, and Stoner puts the nail in the coffin for the guys from Men of Blood, and now is the opportunity for Cyclone Shield to claim the game, as Afro Esports already have one player down. He's Coco knocked away, and they have another player knocked away as well. This might just be Stoner's game. He might just claim it for the guys from Cyclone Shield. Pops a couple of shots right through the to the car right there, and I believe the grenade will be the thing that does the damage there. From Manny, I believe. Cyclone Shield claiming that chicken dinner with 9 eliminations. Once again, Fire. Cyclone Shield coming in clutch with a beautiful performance and a chicken dinner to boot again. Again, they are here with a chicken dinner back to back. Is this what cooking smells like? Is this what cooking smells like?
Cyclone Shield definitely cooking, climbing up on that leaderboard. You can see them racking up those points right there. We'll see just in a minute what that actually does mean for the entire leaderboard right in that particular one. But my goodness, you still got to take a look at all of these teams right there. As Solo Esports got themselves about 6 kills, and Invictus also took about 6 eliminations from this one, and Afro Esports getting 9 to themselves too as well. So we'll see if that does help, rearrange things a little bit on the entire leaderboard and see where that places a few of these teams.
Yeah, Cyclone Shield back to back chicken dinner with 9 eliminations apiece, with Invictus having a 5 elimination game, and an early knock, an early finish. Now, I believe Cyclone Shield is the team right now. I do not believe it is all 3 brothers anymore. I believe it is now going to be Cyclone Shield that gets the job done. That is what I believe. Cyclone Shield already on their way. They're already doing the right thing. They're conjuring the points already right through the gate right there. But beautiful performance coming in from them. And they do this thing every single time where the Cyclone Shield strategy is keep as many people alive for as long as possible, and it works almost every single time. Take a look at towards that final zone moment. How they survived, how they kept it through, how they kept it popping. But it was so impressive, coming from Cyclone Shield. But Solo Esports, in their engagement, even though they got eliminated by a solo player, you see what I did there with a solo player. Solo Esports getting eliminated by a solo player, but the MVP is Solo UG boy. I mean, my wordplay fire. You can't even play, man. What are you saying, bro?
Mad. All right, so the boys from Solo right there putting in the work. You can see UG Boy being our MVP, outstanding in this game, but somehow they could not seal the game through coming up against the boys from Afro. As Peachy, they put in the work right there, but that doesn't still take away the outstanding gameplay coming in from UG Boy in this particular one. We'll be taking a look and seeing how several different teams performed in this particular match. We still got about 2 games to go for the night, so man, I'm just itching. Who's gonna be carrying that crown? Who's gonna be on top? By my calculations, Priest, yeah, by my calculations, my maths is mathing me well. CLS is 9 points behind Invictus. By my
No way. It's 9 points. I think Invictus already got some points in this game. There's no way it's 9 points now. Okay, well, we'll see the leaderboard, but Afro Esports actually did have a bang up a game, 9 eliminations as well. But it was, I believe it was a big shout out to Peachy there, because I believe he did a lot of work, getting them these eliminations that they needed. He's been a phenomenal player, in the WAPL so far. But it is very, very seismic the way all of these teams have been performing. You can see the damage just goes across the board, from Afro Esports all the way down to Invictus. Invictus did go out with 6 eliminations, actually, not even 5. They did go out there with 6 eliminations, and they still managed to deal, some significant damage courtesy of Sheck West. Once again, he is coming through and performing extremely well. But Afro Esports have been doing a fantastic job still maintaining the numbers. Maybe they are hoping for the Miramar game, the game where they decide to pull out all the stops. This might just be the Afro Esports show once again. Once we head into Miramar, that might just be the defining moment for them. But again, it might just be very, very early, for them to define how they want to play that Miramar game. But again, we always know that Afro Esports have learned Miramars extensively, but then so has Cyclone Shield. And it will be very interesting if Cyclone Shield have another, exemplary performance in Miramar.
Yeah, absolutely. We will see how that one continues to build up for them, as they'll be looking to see if they can replicate the same performance that they've had. But how many times do you see a team go back to back to back? Definitely they will be deserving champions if they do pull that off in the next game in Miramar. But obviously a team like Invictus will be looking at this and say, hey, you know what, we do need to continue to stamp our foot as the leaders of the entire bod so far. But we'll see how that one continues to play out, as we'll be taking a look at the entire leaderboard and see where current teams are situated. But if my maths is mathing me the way I'm hoping my maths is doing, as a B student in maths, I think 9 points. 9 points.
Well, you were right.
Said it.
The math is surely mathing now, because Invictus are once again within reach. They are so within reach for the guys from Cyclone Shield. Will Cyclone Shield be that team that will snatch it away after the 3rd game? It is still a possibility. 9 points is so close. Cyclone Shield can almost taste it if Invictus will not lace up their bootstraps and do something amazing to extend the gap even further. Cyclone Shield might just steal this away from them.
Man, absolutely. When it comes to the kill points, the boys from Invictus have been holding things quite strong. They've been getting the kills, they've been racking up those points, and that's exactly what's kept them all the way at that top. What I think Invictus needs to stamp this game is, a 20-point game, and they'll be through, if they can get themselves, a 10-kill game, as well as, a chicken dinner, and then that does seal the game. But regardless, let's take a look and see. If Invictus does get a 20 points within the next 2 games at least, that puts them
Fire, no be math we can't do for here. I don't know what you're saying, but why you?
I mean, no, seriously.
Why you?
As a Nigerian, right, with the Nigerian team forcing us throughout our lifetime to bring our calculators. If he loses, we lose it. You know, we are champions at this. We know how to bring our calculators when it comes to situations like this. Okay, as a Nigerian, okay, you know, when we've always, you know, left it to last minute to get out of group stages in football. So yeah, we're good at this. Yeah. So this is not school maths. This is just, you know, Super Eagles maths. Right, yeah. So yeah, I mean, Invictus needs to pull off at least 20 points within the next 2 games to sort of guarantee their spot. It would be very, I would say it would probably be tough for It's a Mirama map, and things are looking, quite close right there. So you're now seeing the boys from CLS inching quite close to Invictus all the way at that top, and my maths was right. My maths was great. Taught to me by Super Eagles of Nigeria, sitting, just 9 points behind Invictus, and by there I mean CLS.
Well, Cyclone Shield still they cannot they cannot take their foot off the gas right now. They are just within reach. They can almost taste it. We are 3 games in now, and Cyclone Shield again, they are very, very powerful in Miramar, so that says a whole lot. But again, it's going to be so impressive. If Cyclone Shield can get a 3rd chicken dinner in a row here, we've already seen them win in a Miramar game before, so we know that they are very capable. But again, is Invictus going to let that one slide? Is Sheck West going to let that happen? They are going to be on that little bit of the western side of the circle there, just in front of the guys from 21st Century and Men of Blood. They might just get into that engagement sooner rather than later, but those are not the teams they need to be fighting right now. As you can see, Pecado will be occupied again by the guys from Fowl Play, I believe, and Solo Esports. That's a regular occurrence in the WAPL. They've been battling each other from the junior league all the way down to the finals. And that says a whole lot, about the strategy that they are going to be employing. But you can see Fire, that western side being occupied by the guys from No Rage Esports, They're looking very fun in that area, but hopefully, we'll be seeing more of them as the game goes on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll continue to see, how this does continue to develop. But we do see something going down between the boys from Foul Play, and I do believe Solo, as they do blow up their vehicles. These two teams have been toe-to-toe against each other for the entire season. But right now, the boys from Foul Play are down to just the 1 player. We'll take a look at that just in a moment to see, how the boys from Foul Play are currently going to be, holding their own in this particular one. It is TQ who is trying as much as possible to keep their hopes alive in this particular game, as he is trying to get that revive onto his player. They're pulling up onto his particular location. Let's see, how he can defend. Samurai and his boys are trying to see if they can take them and annihilate them from this particular game. TQ does go down. He comes up right there just in time. The knock goes down right there. Guess what? He gets 2. And TQ being absolutely outstanding in this particular one has reduced the boys from Solo down to just 2 players right now.
Ooh, TQ is going to start to cook the guys from Solo Esports, and that is what you call a serious player. Again, he's going to try the 1 versus 1 this time around against Indiags, but Indiags is going to use the M762 to flatten him out and send the guys from Foul Play back into the lobby. But brilliant play coming in from TQ. They're able to maneuver that position and hold that. But once again, the guys from Foul Play fall victim to Solo Esports. Again, they've been escorted out of the lobby in Pecado and losing their grip, a little bit longer. Once again, that will be making them remain at the bottom of the table, Fire. Foul Play have been struggling so far. They have been struggling since the beginning of the finals. They were struggling as well in the WAPL. So it is an unfortunate scenario for them going out this early, but it is what it is. They've continued to land in Pecado. So anything where your eye see, you go collect.
You go collect, or you go collect. All right, so we now see the Western Foul Play, who have not been having quite a great day, getting sent out right there. And that will be the end for them in the entire WAPL. They have put up a great performance so far, so definitely kudos to them, being able to make it all the way into that finals. There's a lot of great teams that did not find themselves, making it into this final. So definitely, if you're one of these 16 teams, you can beat your chest that you're probably among the top 16 teams within the West African region. So definitely they have put up a great spectacle, and obviously TQ will be happy for those extra points that he was able to get for his team.
Yes, extra points, extra money. But the play zone will be a little bit of a tricky one, just moving all the way towards our southern side. As you can see, Fugitives Esports will be making themselves at home, inside of I believe this is Los Leones. There's a whole lot of there's a lot of action, in that area. That is the central part of the play zone there. But Fugitive Esports, also one of the teams that I have been looking out for today. They did have a fantastic couple of games yesterday. First off in Ranjul and in Miramar. So unfortunately for them, so far I've not actually been able to see some action from them today. But this might just be the game for them. They are equally very, very capable in Miramar. I remember them winning one of the games in the senior league. One of the earlier days or the earlier games. So. And also the first team to qualify into the finals. So I'm surprised, they've not been turning up today. But hopefully they will turn up in these last two games as we come closer and closer to the end of the WAPL. As Invictus still continues to lead the charge there with 9 points, just 9 points clear of the guys from Cyclone Shield. Cyclone Shield will have to pull off something extraordinary once more, just one more time, and that might just put them in front.
Absolutely. Easy stuff. We'll see, if Afro, the boys right there from Afro, Apex, and the rest who are vying for that top spot are able to put on the performances to take down the boys from Invictus. We'll continue to see what that actually does mean. But sitting down right there with about 4 eliminations out of the boys from Solo, down to just 2 men in this particular game. The boys from Afro as well, trying to see if they can grab those extra points. It's now or never for all of these teams to perform. If you're going to take on that first place, they do have a lot of work. The boys from CLS as well, can put in, necessary performance. They've started it off quite well. They've gotten themselves 2 chicken dinners, 19, points in each game to get themselves, all the way into, a position where they're just 9 points behind the boys from Invictus. So we'll see, if this game is the one where they can actually surpass. Maybe we might see something going down between the two teams.
There's a chance that may happen based off of, their rotational patterns. But the guys from Cyclone Shield, they've been doing a fantastic job so far, just getting out of danger in the early phases. But you can see 03 are just not like them. They've already started to deal damage up to the guys from Afro Esports. Coco will be the first one to go down. Afro are in a split, but next up will get blown away, I believe, by Peachy or Neo, or Peachy, or I believe yeah, I believe it is going to be Peachy, but Rails will be getting that confirmation onto Coco there. So Afro Esports already down 1 player, and they will be rotating back towards that position. I do not know if they want to take on this, if they want to come into this. It might take a lot from them, to be successful in this engagement, but it might just require a whole lot of effort from them if they want to get some points on the board. But again, it's very tricky. They've already lost 1 player. Might just take a little bit more time. Nexus is still knocked away, but I believe the revive will be coming on to him shortly. He's not too far away still. Fugitive Esports are still in Los Leones. The guys from Habitual Gaming just pulling up in the north as well. Might just clash into one of the players from 21st Century. I believe that is Roy. It might be something very interesting there. But fortunately for him, that is not going to be happening just yet. But Fugitive Esports, however, do catch one of the guys from 03. Believe it is going to be Reels, just receiving some damage there.
Oh, 03, if they do hope to continue to perform, and boost themselves up on that leaderboard, they need to be performing right now. Now's that moment. They got to get those revives on and start to, get those kills. But it does look like they do lose one of their main men. They lose Nexus, as you can see right there on that kill fin, and it looks like they might be losing Skull as well. They're trying to get those revives, and it's down to this team right here. Definitely Invictus will be smiling, taking a look at this and just telling themselves, hey, you know what, if all 3 is going out, if they're losing the numbers, it's now just CLS and the boys, from Apex. And if those 2 don't have quite a great game, then maybe, just maybe, this might just be the cup going to us.
Well, this kind of a performance could spell into a different cascade of things. Though it is going to be very impressive to see what exactly these teams have in store, what their plan is coming into this 3rd game of the night. But then Team Apex have been very, very quiet today. They did have a good performance in Sanok, but in the last Aranju game, not too much I could speak on to their performance. And it's so crazy because we saw them from the beginning of the league league, from the playoff stages to the junior league to the senior league. They were just absolutely dominating. But it's so unfortunate that they've come into the finals and they've not been able to find that spark. Day one, day two, you put in a decent amount of numbers there, but not too much of anything. Ooh, the spray is fantastic again from Reels, but he is going to be a skull actually going to be uprooted there by Fisk. Fugitive Esports once again starting to roll. Rigmarole, all this rigging. They're rigging out 03 out of their vehicles, just taking them out one after the other. But they will be having a little bit of cover to get their revives up. 03 down to 3 players still. But again, you can see in the feed, the Invictus have started to deal damage once more. They've started to increase their numbers. Skull from 03 will be picked up by Reels there, but Griff is on top of that hillside, and it might just spell danger for the guys from Fugitive Esports if they do decide to, commit to this fully. It is going to be a 3-man team though. 03 will be getting out of dodge. This position is not going to be so favorable for them as they do just hop into their vehicle and get out of that area.
Yeah, definitely. It was some 03, not taking on the risk as they do, try as much as possible to keep a full squad in that particular one. They also know that around that particular environment, they might have several different teams just lurking around, and you don't want to be getting caught off guard. You want to try as much as possible to be getting into a favorable position. But we're also seeing other skirmishes going down as the boys from Citizens are getting into a fight right there. We're also have one of the players from CLS getting gunned down by Vibe Gaming, and we can see things are already beginning to let loose on several different positions within the map. And with Danny Brown currently down, we're curious to see if CLS can still put in that same performance that they did in the previous game.
Yeah, Cyclone Shield have been a very comfortable so far. I believe they've been able to get their hands on the guys from Vibe earlier, but they were not able to get the flush or get the elimination. But Vibe will be getting out there by the guys from No Rage. A couple of bullets sent their way. Bougie will be spotted and knocked away. And 21st Century, I believe that is going to be the first team that's going to be eliminated tonight. It is going to be 6Ben finally spotted out and confirmed. But now the guys from Fugitive will still be holding out at these buildings. They do very, very love the compound defense. They do love to play inside of buildings. They do not necessarily love to play terrain. But Cyclone Shield once again catching the guys from Vibe, and this time Danny Brown will flush. He will confirm the first point. And now they are leveled with the guys from Invictus again. There's so many teams. There's so much energy required to keep the numbers up for the rest of these teams that are trying to chase through. 03 being one of those teams that's letting it slip away from them. If they can get a double digit in this game, it will keep their hopes alive for getting the first place finish. But Cyclone Shield will be reading the lobby of the guys from Vibe, and 3 points going again all the way to the guys from Cyclone Shield. Once again, they've started to cut down, reduce the numbers between them and Invictus, and that is the route to go. As you can see, Habitual Gaming just overlooking.
Man, absolutely. The boys from CLS, they've begun a game. They've started out with their onslaught. They've gotten themselves those eliminations to continue to stretch that gap between them, or reduce that gap between them and the boys from Invictus. Right now, they've reduced that gap to just 6 points between them. Remember, before the game started, when there was just 9 points in between those two teams, and now with those 3 eliminations so far, without the boys from Invictus getting kills of their own, they've reduced it to another 6. So we'll see how this one continues to progress and build up on this particular game and see who ends up being on top of the leaderboard. But the boys from Invictus, we do know that they do usually have Miramar in the back. They know how to play the Miramar game. They've gotten themselves into a central position. They're quite in a good spot, and that may lead to them having a great end game and maybe grabbing home that winner chicken dinner.
The chicken dinner will be a big deciding moment. That's Peachy. We'll lose the rear end tires of his buggy there. Just might use this opportunity to pop right through. But Cyclone Shield will be rotating very closely there. But 03 do have them in the sight, and they're starting to spray from the north. But again, they are very comfortably seated inside of there. They have the play zone to work with them, but Cyclone Shield will be rotating through the northwestern side, and they will be making their movement towards that area as well. As you can see, Stoner just popping right through. Might just get spotted by 03 there. Has to be careful as they do make their rotation. They will be finding a way inside of that play zone there. and they're very, very comfortable. They're very, very happy with that engagement there. But Neo will be spotted and knocked away. And now the guys from Afro once again getting in trouble there. You can see Stoner might just pick something away there from the guys from Afro Esports. He's very capable. He's very dangerous again. Might just pop a couple of shots towards Peachy there. Peachy is in a very, very unsettling position. Might just take a little bit of more action there as I believe that is Neo falling to the play zone, and he might just that will be the end. Another elimination point going to the guys from O3 Fire. It looks like O3 have a strategy that's starting to work here.
O3 getting those points as they do continue to find themselves heading into a great spot within the play zone right now. So obviously they have some things that are currently working for them. It is the boys from O3, the boys from Invictus who have a spot within that zone. Invictus have one of the players who are currently making those rotations. The boys of Citizens as well as MOB are also situated in what is a central position within that play zone right there. And everyone's trying to begin to maintain their rotation. CLS and O3 brothers are quite close to each other. As you can see, it might begin on a skirmish right there. Skull is not too far away from Manny, and you can see them just eaching, quite close. So shots are already beginning to let loose as it's flying towards that position where CLS are currently at. And definitely the boys from MOB might be getting into this as well. And Victor's also taking on shots. So it's just shots flying from every single direction, and where to call home is really tough for the boys from CLS. So they do turn their sights onto that position where that MOB has.
Men of Blood will have to hop into defensive mode if they are going to make it out of that one alive. Cyclone Shield will be pulling up to that position, but MSK from Arch Esports is going to be knocked away and spotted surely. Stoner as well is going to be receiving a little bit of damage there, but he will be surviving, just making it to his teammate there, and the revive will be coming through. But Manny and Stoner, the two players already knocked away. But the revive already coming through there. Beautiful play coming in from Cyclone Shield. Just being within touching distance of each other will be keeping them alive, at least for the time being. But again, they are in a very, very tricky area, but they have a lot of cover to work with. Hopefully, they do not get spotted by Invictus, because Invictus is just going to be rolling up from the southern side very, very soon. And the clash of head between these two teams will decide the fate of the leaderboards very, very soon. But again, Royal Academy still continue to lay the shots into the guys from Team Apex. Once more, Team Apex starting to fall through. It is so unfortunate for them so far, as Wizardin will be getting eliminated. Team Apex Fire, they have not been having the best final.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in from the junior league all the way towards the senior league, spots, we started to see their performances, drop at that senior league stage. But a lot of people just kept saying, hey, you know what? When they get to the finals, they're gonna cook. They're gonna make it work. But I do believe that other teams have woken up. They started to become as competitive as the boys from Apex, and it's showing right here, on the entire leaderboard that the other teams are not sleeping. They're not holding back. They've improved their level of gameplay, and that's exactly what we can see. The boys from Afro were also kicking. Invictus all of a sudden, one of those teams that was quite very passive in the early stages, got just a one-man check quest, and that changed their entire gameplay, became really aggressive in the finals. And so you never really know what the outcome is going to be, but I do love what I'm seeing, because it's anybody's game right now. It's all down to very, very, very tiny decisions that you make, your rotation paths and all that stuff. All those teams are really skillful.
The idea that is going to be behind every single decision that these teams make will be heavily reliant, on what it does for them going inside of the next phase of the circle here, as O3 continue to hinge right through in the central position. They have a very, very sweet area inside of that map, to hold for themselves. Cyclone Shield still within that southern area, and again, they might just run into Invictus. Is brewing. The engagement between those two teams, they have the same rotational pattern, the same rotational idea. But Starlight is going to be spotted by 419. Surely Habitual are aware of that, his position. He's not trying to be slick. They will be ready to spot him the moment he decides to rear his head. He is the last player for Team Apex, but the bullets have already started to ring right through. And I believe Invictus and Cyclone Shield have bumped into each other. And that is the engagement, ladies and gentlemen, that we've been waiting for. I believe the numbers continue to pile in there. And Manny's the next one to go down. Stoner to go down as well with a grenade. And Invictus have started to cook, but Habitual Esports is there as well to read something into that area there. As the guys from Men of Blood are starting to get inside of that engagement as well. Lobby will be peeking out, but he will be spotted immediately. Danny Brown is going to be confirming. Check West. Invictus getting blown away. Losing yet another player.
Oh, the Boston Invictus, not having quite the best of times right there as they're up in a fight to, continue to boost themselves up on that leaderboard. But there's so many different teams, they're struggling in, for their position as well. As we do see the boys from Fugitives get sent back in home right there. The boys from Cyclone Shields are down to a two-man squad, but they've got themselves 4 kills right here in this particular one, looking to continue to close the gap. Royal Academy as well also have, a couple of numbers up on that leaderboard, but Invictus is not, just gonna give up, lay down and say, hey, you know what, here's the crown, take it and go. They currently have 3 kills to their name. They're still right there. They've got 2 men. They've got 2 buddies, can continue to grab them those points. We're down on the leaderboard with about 10 teams right here. We've got 25 buddies. MOP is also in that mix. They're turning the sights onto the boys from Royal Academy, looking to see if they can get a knock or 2 from them. 11 of these boys who have been absolutely outstanding throughout the finals are looking to see who could be the scapegoat from the teams rotating in front of them.
It's all a matter of who is going to be that scapegoat, that is for sure. But again, you can see Afro Esports just biding their time. One of the strongest teams in Miramar. You can see them hiding, trying to survive and get some placement points. It is so unorthodox to see, but it is going to be, only in the finals. And now the guys from Habitual Esports down there, just getting themselves 4 eliminations on the card. But they do have 2 players up, you can see MSK just raiding the bullets towards the guys from No Rage Esports, but return fire is absolutely brilliant there, cutting MSK down to about 40 HP. Now he has to set himself back, but Cyclone Shield getting sent away, and by Invictus. Again, Invictus continue to reign on. They do have 5 eliminations, and they might just use this game to get the numbers in front once more, Solo Esports. Down to 2 players. You can see Doctor and India trying to do the absolute best, but here comes the guys from No Rage Esports getting tagged up there. Lowick again pops right through. He is going to be dropped to his knees by Indiags again, and now this is the opportunity for Solo Esports to get something done. But Habitual Esports, it is MSK just a little bit towards that right hand side. He sees a little bit of a skirmish popping through there, pops another player. But he will be having a little bit of cover to work with, but Doctor making a very, very tricky play there, and he is going to be paying for it for his life there. As Indiac is going to be the last one left up for the guys from Solo. And now you can see Doctor getting confirmed immediately there by MSK. Again, MSK has been the absolute best player fire for the guys from Habitual Esports. He has been absolutely phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff coming in from him right there as he's continuing to, boost them up right there on that leaderboard. And in this particular game, you can see him just holding it out for his team, and he's done this over and over again. We've seen it even, throughout the entire tournament that he has been putting in the work for them. And right now, he is looking to see if he can continue to grab them those points. They're currently sitting down with 6 eliminations to their name, but you just got to give it up to the boys from 03 Brothers, who are currently sitting down with a 3-man squad. They currently have about 10 kills to the name. Everybody else is a solo in this particular game, so it looks like it's going to go down to the boys from 03. Pintwa is trying as much as possible to keep the hopes alive for his team. He's in a battle with the full team right there from the boys from 03. Although Invictus continue to boost themselves up on the entire leaderboard, they've got themselves 7 kills in this one, and I do believe that is enough for them to continue to grind up 8 kills now. And Priest, are they running away with this?
Well, the way it's looking right now, O3 should have this in the bag. They have the numbers advantage, they have positional advantage. I mean, everything is working out for their good. Again, Invictus is here still, continue to roll a couple of shots there, but Pintua will be spotted out. And finally, the Invictus does go out there in 5th place. And that is not the best, but that is actually a great performance, but it is still not the best because O3 are on double digits, and the chicken dinner is already mooning there as Griff is going to be confirming Afro Esports last player, that is Hunter. He's going to be knocked away and sent back into the lobby. Now we've got 3 teams left. We've got 5 bodies in the field, and it is going to be in Diags and the last player for No Rage Esports. And don't forget, No Rage already up 3 eliminations, and this might just be that performance that might lift them out of the bottom tier of the leaderboards right now. And the guys from O3 doing a fantastic job. There is a potential here, for them to get at least 13 eliminations, and the chicken dinner to boot. That will be 23 points. That will be a significant number. But let's not forget, Invictus already did 8 eliminations and they finished in the top 5. Once again, they stretch, their lead a little bit thinner, coming right through there. But O3 are doing the right thing. It will come down to the last game, ladies and gentlemen, to crown the WAPL champion. But for now, it is going to be left to the guys from O3 trying to deal damage towards that player from Solo Esports. It is in Diax, just holding up a little bit towards the north there. He's prone behind the cover, just trying to, secure that second place finish. I believe that's what he's trying to do. That will be, his plan. But you can see Deji is just a little bit quiet down there, just holding out. The best survival player for the guys from No Rage Esports, but they are waiting out. Score sends a grenade all the way down there. Just perfect grenade from Score. Perfect grenade. And that will be the end of No Rage.
An absolutely outstanding gameplay coming in from the boys from O3 as they have put themselves in a situation to seal this game through, and you can see them getting that final elimination. They got 13 kills to their name, all the way dropping the most points of the day as they've got themselves 23 points right there. 13 eliminations, and you just got to give it to the man right there Skull, as he got 8 eliminations for them. Great stuff coming on for the boys right there for O3 brothers. We'll continue to see what that means at the end of the day and see if they can snatch that top game. It's down to the final game, man. This race has been absolutely amazing.
Yes, I have enjoyed the WAPL finals so far. All of these teams have been putting in the work, and we've been enjoying watching them so far. But again, the numbers, we're starting to run the numbers, and it will be coming down to the last game to determine who will be the champion, because I believe the guys from Invictus they've not cracked that 120 point barrier just yet. But they are very, very close. So it's all a matter of how they perform in the last game. That will be the deciding factor if Invictus will be crowned champion. Cyclone Shield fell off a little bit too early, so that point gap between them and Invictus has stretched a little bit more once again. And O3 this time, the team to come out of dodge and pop one right through for themselves. Now it's going to be a matter of how well they will be, surviving and putting the points on the board for themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the WAPL. We're 3 games down, and we'll be, heading into the next game to give us a little bit of an idea one more time for the culture, who is going to be crowned West Africa's champion.
All right.
You can see there our MVP, as we talked about, it is Skull from O3, a fantastic player. and he has been able to do a fantastic job for the guys from O3 Brothers. That's getting a bulk of the eliminations there, 8 out of the 13. So he did leave the significant 5 for the rest of his team, but O3 did a fantastic job. After they got out of that engagement earlier in the game, against the guys from Fugitives Esports, they were able to make it out of dodge and survive a little bit longer, and they were able to still steal some points, as they continued to deal damage all the way across. Getting themselves, 13 eliminations, big numbers there. They should be an overall best team so far, in Miramar today. But then that will be requiring a whole lot from them as well. I'm impressed with score here. Finally, O3 will be waking up. But then it will be very interesting, though, to see if they are the team that takes away, the final. If they are the team that does it, one more time. And I think we are going to be heading back into Erangel in the final game. So that will be very, very determinant on what goes on. And that will show us a little bit of a little bit of progression for these teams, how they will be holding out, and what is going to be the next step for them. But big shout out to the guys from to O3. They are still cooking, they are not giving up, they are holding out. But hopefully all of their sacrifices will pay off in the final game, because that is what it all boils down to now. The point difference is not that steep. It is all a chicken dinner away. Any of the next teams, actually, any of the top 3 teams that wins the next game will win the WAPL. It's as easy as that, though, Fire. If O3, Cyclone Shield, or Invictus win the next game, they will win the WAPL. I believe it is safe to say that at this point. If any of those 3 teams wins the next game, they will win the WAPL. I think that is what it will take.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all down to those should I say the last game on who wins, who takes this one home and who gets the maximum points. If the boys from CLS can pull up pretty much what is like a 20 bump in this next game, then maybe, just maybe, they can seal this game through, as well as the boys from O3. So we'll see what that means at the end of the day. But Invictus is not sleeping on their toes, as they do get themselves 8 eliminations in this particular game, and they were second when it came to the amount of eliminations. And we've seen them do this throughout the entire tournament. They've continued to get those eliminations and not be that great when it comes to getting themselves those placement points, but that has definitely counted for them, as they do find themselves all the way on the top of that leaderboard. But you also got to count guys like Solo Esports and Royal Academy for giving us a wonderful spectacle, as they got themselves into the action as well. But all 3 brothers coming out on top with 13 eliminations and still grabbing themselves that winner chicken dinner.
I am very, very impressed, at least by the guys from Solo Esports. They've been doing a fantastic job of holding out so far, but again, that leaderboard is clear. It is showing us here 11 points between Invictus and O3 Brothers, and 15 points between Invictus and Cyclone Shield. And we talked about this again. Any team that wins the next game out of these 3 will win the WAPL. There is no way around it. That is really what it boils down to. It boils down to the last game. I really thought Invictus was going to seal it with 120 points at least, but owing to the performances that they've had so far, and the guys from O3 and Cyclone Shield not letting up, it says a big lot. This is so competitive at this point. It is really competitive if it takes every fiber of your bone, every fiber in your body, to struggle to make it into the finals and then to win it as well. You have to give a big shout out to the guys from Invictus, and they've all done this all with 1 chicken dinner. Cyclone Shield and O3 with 3 apiece, so they both have the same number of chicken dinners. It might even boil down, to a tie. And they might even need a tiebreaker. So all of this might, really come into play, as we move into the final game of the night.
I mean, if I'm to give my prediction, I would say that that the boys from Invictus need 12 points to win this game. 12 points. If they find themselves at 130 points, I can say that they are probably safe right there, because what's really important right there for the boys from Invictus is getting themselves into that 20 something points away from the boys from 03, and I think they'll be fine. It'll probably be difficult for 03 to come into this game and get another 20 something points again. So yeah, my money is on Invictus winning this for sure, if they can get themselves 12 points.
Well, let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
All right, guys. So we're going to be moving into the next game. I'm not sure if we have a break or we're just going in directly into the final game of the night. It's an Erangel game, so we'll be starting shortly. But I think we can take a quick break. I think we can take maybe just like a 1 or 2 minutes break and be back. Okay, good.
petit navire, il était un petit navire qui n'avait jamais navigué, qui n'avait jamais navigué. Ohé, ohé. Il partit pour un long voyage, il partit pour un long voyage sur la mer, mais Le sort tombe sur le plus jeune, le sort tombe sur le plus jeune. Le mousse qui se met à pleurer, le mousse qui se met à pleurer. Ohé, ohé. On cherche alors à quelle sauce, on cherche alors à quelle sauce. Le pauvre enfant sera mangé, le pauvre enfant sera mangé. Ohé, ohé. Pendant qu'ainsi l'on délibère, pendant qu'ainsi l'on délibère, il monte en haut du grand hunier, il monte en haut du grand hunier. Ohé, ohé. Il fit au ciel une prière, il fit au ciel une prière, interrogeant Jean l'immensité, interrogeant Jean l'immensité. Ohé, ohé.
All right, guys. So welcome into our grand finale. As we're going into the final game, the final Sandhog game of the night. All right, guys. It is such a lovely game, and I've been proud right here as Actfire to take you guys through the entire games. All right. So staying on that leaderboard so far, right, guys? It is down to this moment. Who is going to be taking home the grand prize money for the WAPL? Is it going to be the boys from 03? Can they pull up a win in this one? You know, my prediction is that if Invictus can get themselves 12 points, just 12 points in this particular game, they might be able to hold on to that #1 spot. So we'll see what that means for them, if they can pull off, you know, a couple of those kills as they have been doing so far. But so far, we do see the boys from Invictus sitting down quite comfortably within that environment around Roadhog. All the way at school, it is Vibe Gaming, and not too far away from, you know, the boys from Invictus is Royal Academy. And Fowl plays pretty much in the open right now. But in Pochinki, you do have the boys from Fugitives, you know, who are holding that position right there. MOB is around Farm. You do have the boys from Afro situated around Milta. And the zone's pretty much in a central position right now with the boys from No Rage as well as CLS all the way up against Naya. All right, Habitual is quite alone at Severne as Foul Play decided not to, you know, get into a skirmish with them. But I feel like Priest, yeah, Foul Play should have just, you know, for, you know, the final game, just gone to have fun in that Severne.
I see that you're promoting toxicity here, Fire. I'm not one for such, please. I am not one for promoting toxicity in any way, shape, or form. But all I will say, all I will say is, you know, it is the final game, you know, and a lot of teams will be remembered, you know, for whatever decisions they decide to make here. You know, a lot of the teams will be the decisions they make here would be heavily, you know, put into view. But, you know, like we talked about, Invictus 03, Cyclone Shield, it is all between them now. You know, unless, you know, Team Apex do a 30-pointer in this game, they are out of the conversation, you know, as well. But again, you know, there could be something dramatic that happens in this final, because I know that this region, when it comes to last day games, final games, we do get, there's a whole lot of drama that comes into play, when it comes to the final games of the night. But again, it is the WAPL. The team that goes on with first place will be having 600 USD in their pocket, plus the participation bonus, and probably, the MVP bonus as well would be most likely, in that number one team. Probably someone from Invictus, 03, or Cyclone Shield might just be taking on that MVP. So we'll be looking out for who that is going to be. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of a centered play zone, just excluding a little bit of the western side and the southern side, 21st century. We'll have to make their rotation from Yasnaya, from Savani, or rather from military base actually, all the way towards Yasnaya or Savani to hold out those northern positions. So Fire, getting into early engagements for Cyclone Shield could be the best way to start. They are sharing Yasnaya with the guys from No Rage Esports, and that should be a fairly, easy engagement for them. But do you think, they should seek out the guys from No Rage and try to, get 4 points right out the gate? Because, 4 early points could be the decider. It could be the game changer for Cyclone Shield,
Yeah, definitely, because what it is when you're fighting later on, it's either you're just farming and you're trying to just steal kills, or you're just fighting for your dear life in that final circle. So this is the point where they probably would have that freedom, if they chase down the guys from Rage to fight without the risk of being third party. So for me here right now is when they should actually be chasing them down.
Yeah, there's a big so I'm really interested in seeing what the rest of the teams in the chat have to rest of the the fans in the chat will have to say about this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, who is your money on, though? We should create a poll, though. Who do you think is taking the WAPL? Is it Invictus? Is it Cyclone Shield? Or is it 03? Or could it even be Apex? It is all a deciding moment right now. All of these teams have to start to make their decisions right now. 21st Century already making that decision to rotate just from the south. Making it inside of that play zone. They'll still be holding out that southern position. Solo Esports will be behind them in Novora. But again, there's a whole lot of possible engagements. I'm dying, really. I'm literally dying to see, the first engagements we are going to be having here. Fowl play, I would expect them to play, to build, to actually be the team that puts a spanner in the works for Cyclone Shield. But again, everyone is on their best behavior, going into this final game of the night. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is the WAPL. The first circle is closing. The champion will be crowned in about, let's say, 30 minutes from now. We will have the champion of West Africa. But who will it be? Invictus? Cyclone Shield? 03?
Yeah, absolutely. These teams have been finding it, quite interesting throughout the entire finals. It has not gone the way, a lot of people would have predicted before the start. Several different, people would have said, definitely it's going to go down to teams like 03, teams like Apex. But we've seen, all these teams, just gear up right there. But look at Habitual. They are coming in right there. They've been obviously rejuvenated by, the likes of Shad coming into the squad and, just performing quite well right there. So we'll see, what that continues to mean for them in other competitions. But they got themselves into the finals of the WAPL, and they can definitely say that they have, improved as a team overall. We're also seeing the bottom 21 right there on the kill feed. Solo is doing some damage onto them. Solo, another team that has not quite lived up to their reputation so far, and performed at the level where we do expect them to see. But now we're seeing them coming up against a team 21 that has a lot of prospects. They do take down another player from the boys from 21, and it is, fire at all corners. You can see six men trying as much as possible to evade those shots coming in from UG Boy, and UG Boy turns inside onto Ace. Ace, he does get that confirmation onto him, and right now the boys from Solo are down to the last guy. UG Boy trying to keep his hopes alive in this game. A six-man is sending the shots onto his position, and that nade coming in from six-man might just do the damage to send them out of the game, but UG Boy is able to evade that one right there. Can he take out six-man before he does get that confirmation onto Doctor? Oh, there's another player on the other side as well, taking shots onto him.
Ooh, 21st Century have been putting the work in. They have been working out. The guys from Solo Esports caught them down all the way to last player. It is going to be UG Boy, and Doctor probably telling him there that yes, this guy is making the advance towards your direction, and this might just be the opportunity Six-Ben has been looking for. Again, he pops the grenade, and it might just connect this time around to UG, but that's a perfect grenade, just right on top of his head. Surely he does the job. He does the job. 21st Century doing a fantastic finish here. Unfortunately, they did lose two players, Ace and Power, but it is not going to compare to those 4 sweet elimination points they've been able to pick up, just advancing themselves on, a little bit higher, on the leaderboard there. Currently, they will be sitting, all the way out there in 6th place, overlapping the guys from Fugitive Esports as we move on. So Fugitive Esports currently will be dropping down to 7th place. And now the leaderboard has just changed in the mid-region. It is still the same on the top side. Invictus still in 1st place, 03 in 2nd, Cyclone Shield still hopping up in 3rd place, Team Apex in 4th, and Afro Esports in 5th, with 21st Century just, tapping into 6th place. Now, Fire, that is the first leaderboard change we've had. 21st Century just overlapping the guys from Fugitive Esports, and the guys from Solo Esports will be dropping, dropping below and staying in 10th place. With that performance, that is going to be the end for them. So now a couple of teams will be chasing through them. Vibe, Citizens, and Habitual, all of these teams, in front by Solo. So hopefully they will be doing a fantastic job just to increase their numbers and put some points on the board to overtake and crack into that top 10.
See what that means on the entire leaderboard, as these teams will be looking to, continue to grab themselves those points that are quite needed to keep their hopes alive in this particular game. But we also see some skirmish going down between the boys from Rage and Habitual right there as they are fighting toe-to-toe. A man does get dropped and sent back into the lobby. But it's a tough time for all of these guys to continue to hold a great position right there. There was some Rage making their rotations around and getting caught off guard by the boys from Habitual right there. You can see Top C, just deciding to hop onto his vehicle and get out of that position. And he also, got an elimination to himself as he took with him one of the guys right there from Habitual.
Ooh, Habitual Gaming doing a very, very good job there of getting some eliminations on the board for themselves. They're currently chasing No Rage Esports. It's going to be Top C the last, I believe. He is the last player up for No Rage. He might just be eliminated here if he's not careful enough. 4-9, just be rotating around. But Loic is actually there on the northern side. On the west right there, might just pop a couple of shots towards 4-9 if he's not careful enough to get out of this dangerous position. You can see the bullets bouncing off of his buggy there, but he will be getting out of dodge. He just been made aware of that position coming in from Loic there, and Loic spots Psycho, will be spraying towards him as well. And this is a warning again, Psycho is going to get tagged up. Well, fortunately for him, his vehicle is within reach. If I was Loic, I'd blow this vehicle up just to make it impossible for him to get out of dodge. No Rage Esports doing the best that they can to hold on, just hold on a little bit longer to get themselves, a little bit higher on the leaderboard there, because currently Habitual Gaming have passed the Citizens, and they are now currently in 12th place, moving all the way up there. So the points that they've accrued already is already starting to make changes for them as well on that side of the leaderboard. But Fire, that this placement right now is going to be heavily favoring the guys from Team Apex for now. It's looking like that Apex kind of zone. Is this the game, Fire, where Apex will pull, a hat out of a rabbit? 25 eliminations, Fire. 25 eliminations will win it for Team Apex.
Well, they would have to get 25 eliminations plus the chicken dinner to get to win it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what we'll do it, man.
Okay, so they're looking for 35 points. I don't think from this particular game I get the chicken dinner as well. But look at Smoker, look at that boy right there, just sending on the shots onto that position. But foul play and all three going toe-to-toe against each other. And definitely, the boys right there from Invictus seeing this will be smiling, thanking the boys from foul play. And this is what you need, a team like foul play coming in and playing spoiler right there. They've got nothing to lose right in this particular one except just stop everyone else from carrying that crown. As you can see, they are currently farming. They're dropping bodies that are just trying as much as possible to fly by, and the boys from MOB are just getting dealt with at every single corner because they've got Citizens to deal with. They've got the boys from Foul Play to deal with, and they are just fighting hard for their life to just find a place to just breathe for a second.
Ooh, no breathing space for these teams. No breathing space for the rest of these teams, though. They've been enjoying themselves so far. You can see the guys from Foul Play continuing to raise their numbers. I believe they now know that it's the final game, so they can do whatever they want. And do whatever they want, they will. You can see them Foul Play 4 eliminations to the good already, and you can see they're already starting to spray every single team that moves around this area. They've caught a couple of bodies from the guy from No Rage Esports and O3 as well. And O3, unfortunately, their chances of winning this game have been cut significantly short by 50%. And courtesy of the guys from Foul Play, they are continuing to rain damage here. They continue to, to send a couple of shots to any single one that crosses their path. This is the side of Foul Play that we've not seen before, because now they know that there's nothing left to lose. That is the mentality now that they're using to play. Anyone can get it. Violence anywhere. We don't care. We don't send. And that is the idea for Foul Play. Now they're going to play spoiler for anybody they catch. They will, they will go on fighting. They will go on taking shots. They will go on inflicting damage to any single team that comes across their direction. But O3 are not letting this one rest as well, as they fall into the clutches of the guys from Royal Academy.
A time for all of this, guys. It is really tough, holding, onto, this particular game, as several different teams are just being absolutely outstanding. The boys from O3, trying to keep themselves alive in this particular one, as shots are being let loose onto their position. You can see right there, Skull and the kill feed does get one knock, and everyone's heart is currently just beating. The boys from CLS are currently all the way in that northeastern region, just holding what is the edge right there, and not too far away from them within that north central on the edge side as well is also the boys from Invictus, and everyone is just trying as much as possible to keep themselves alive in this game, because right now I feel like as much as you want to get the kills, it's also just operation stay alive until the final circle.
Yeah, staying alive. It's all a matter of staying alive right now, surely. Because that play zone is just starting to shrink towards the eastern side, the northeastern side, and the guys from Cyclone Shield are just having a little bit of an interesting rotation all the way out there. They're very, very close here to Afro Esports. You can see Hunter just spraying inside there, and you can see Lens is going to be popping and locking and dropping a couple of shots towards the guys from Vibe. As unfortunately Vibe have been the object of their desire for a while now. Afro Esports up 2 eliminations courtesy of Coco and Lens, but the Citizens will be making their advance towards the guys from Vibe. They are getting some advantages on their way though. Afro Esports will be there, but Foul Play again starting to rain shots towards the Citizens. Gordier, the next one to fall down. And Foul Play still continue to run amok with it. Is Foul Play trying to win a chicken dinner on the last day? Are they trying to do something? Fire, is that what this is? Foul Play trying to clear their doubts, as again the grenade here from a nest will be knocking PlayStation 5 down, and Lone Wolf as well is going to be knocked away. Now Foul Play have bitten off a little bit more that they can chew. Citizens is not to be trifled with. That is what they're saying here, but you can see Simple just charging his grenade right in his hand in the corner there, and he might just do the trick, as a nest will be confirmed by that grenade if he's not careful enough. But Simple will be moving and rotating from the left and the right hand side, DBS in hand, charges yet another grenade, but Jetto moves out of the way, and this might just be the opportunity for the guys from Sidizens to recoup, as Lone Wolf and PlayStation 5 are still knocked down. Simple is peeking around with the DBS there, trying to take the advance, but he can hear him creeping up. Sidizens in serious trouble there. Jetto trying to make an escape, but he's finally been spotted there, and he will be confirmed by Simple. And now the Sidizens with their last player, I believe that is Bego, trying to make it out of dodge in that northern position with Gordier just holding up a little bit area in the north right there. Foul play still trying their absolute best to increase their numbers again. Finally, PlayStation 5 will be revived, and Lone Wolf is going to be brought up, but Nes is going to be confirmed there. Foul play continuing to increase their numbers by 6 eliminations and counting.
Yeah, this is what you need to be doing. You know, if you find yourself in a position where you've got nothing to lose in the entire competition, then just go aggressive. You know, whether you win or lose, you know, just go at it. But for me, what I usually think in situations like this, when I start to see teams performing this way, is you could have done it since. You know, you could have done it since. It means that you have it within you to perform quite well, and that's what, you know, a couple of these guys, you know, will be telling themselves, you know, right now is, you know, if you can perform like this on the last day, then you could have on the first day. You know, we saw, you know, guys like Afro, you know, play that gameplay where it's like, you know, they don't care. They want to, you know, be absolutely aggressive from day one. And that definitely is probably a message right from me down to the boys from Foul Play. If you can be aggressive now, then you can be aggressive from day one. You know, win or lose, you know, just play the gameplay that you are absolutely comfortable with.
Well, it is all a matter of comfort here, because Invictus has clashed into Team Apex, and this might just be something interesting for them. But Fugitive Esports will be losing a D14 just by the edge of the play zone there. As you can see, he does not make it out of dodge right there, moves a little bit towards that position. Going to be spotted immediately as well, but unfortunately for the guys from you know, Fugitive Esports, they will be losing normal riz. They're going to be blown away, and Invictus continue to rain hell onto the guys from Team Apex. And Team Apex continue to just hold on. There is so much that is required of them to do, but they're getting blown away one after the other.
You can see right there about some Invictus going in for that confirmation right there and getting, you know, those points that is quite needed to continue to do well in this particular one. They've got themselves 3 kills so far. Remember, before the game started, my question was, if they can get themselves 13 points, just 13 points, and sit down all the way in that 130 points, then definitely, just maybe they could and seal this game through against the boys from O3. You can see O3 coming into this particular game. They're currently sitting now with just 2 kills. They've got themselves just 2 players right here. If they do get taken out, then that obviously does leave the boys right there from Invictus with a lot to you know, work with. But the boys from Invictus are now getting into some trouble with the boys right there from CLS, as one of the players has been confirmed right in that particular one. They also have another player, Temp, who's currently knocked down. They're trying to see if they can get that revive, but it doesn't happen, as CLS is coming in with you know, a fight right here against the boys who are sitting down all the way on top of the entire leaderboard. If CLS can get a wipe onto the boys from Invictus, as you can see, Shekwist is currently down, then just maybe they might be able to steal the entire tournament away from them. They currently don't have any eliminations, but there's a lot of bodies within the lobby for them to then begin to get those right now.
Ooh, there's a whole lot of work, you know, for the guys from Cyclone Shield to do right now, as Fugitives will be biting the dust in 8th place. The Sidizens down to the last player, Bego, just trying to survive as long as possible for the rest of his team, hopefully to make it into that top 10. But O3 are still in the mix here. They continue in, and Victor still continue to deal damage to every single corner there. Stoner is going to be popping and locking just a little bit inside of the play zone there. Invictus still continue to rain damage onto every single team here, and you can see the spray is coming in from Pintua. He's trying to do the damage all the way across the Team Apex. Kage gets to be spotted there, and the cover fire might not just be working out there. Pintua continues to send the shots one after the other, but the Citizens, the next team to fall. In Pintua has been spotted this time time around, and surely he will be confirmed, and I believe it is the guys from Afro Esports are dealing the damage towards their general direction. Invictus just have to hold on a little bit longer, and this might just be the play that gets them that chicken dinner. Sheck West, the last one up, and he's going to be tagged up here by Wizard, as Apex might just be that team that puts them in the ground, and it might just be the defining moment here. But the beautiful Molotov cocktail, but the grenade from Wizard is the one that does them in. Oh my days, an unfortunate scenario and an unfortunate turn of events. Invictus is eliminated by Team Apex, and Cyclone Shield is still here. 2 eliminations to them, and there's 4 teams left in 11 players fire. Can Cyclone Shield steal it?
Absolutely amazing game coming in from all of these guys right here. I'm not even sure who can take this game through right in this particular one. The boys from Apex obviously are not looking quite like they can get the amount of kills needed for them to perform in this particular game, as they're down to just a 1 man left in this one. But the boys from CLS do have the numbers to continue to put down to a lot of buddies in this particular game, as the boys from Afro are down 2 buddies right now. They're currently down to just 2 players in this particular game. It's just Hunter and Coco who currently, have the numbers in this one. It does look like they might be able to get that revive onto Peachy. And if they do somehow manage to get those revives, take out the boys from CLS, then maybe the numbers that Invictus got in this particular game might be enough for them to win it. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. But things are inching quite closer. CLS has got to start dropping several different teams all around them. If they do want to carry that #1 spot, they've got to start to get the kills. But right now, they're currently just sitting down with about 4 kills in this particular one. They do need to start dropping people and still as well grab that chicken dinner. But my goodness, what a day it will be if they get the chicken dinner and still not win. Imagine getting 3 chicken dinners on the final day and not taking the cup home.
I mean, it would be a very, very interesting way to finish things, though. If they do not, take the WAPL trophy home, it might be, an unfortunate turn of events, just because the guys from Invictus would not let up. But now, Cyclone Shield, they might be dealing damage, but that is Roach with a beautiful grenade, and he is going to be doing the job there. Now Afro Esports will be pulling up to the scene. It is all left to them. How much damage can they deal? Roach sends a grenade and the Molotov cocktail to follow through, and now is the opportunity for Cyclone Shield. Will they be able to claim that last chicken dinner? But then the numbers, the advantages, and the eliminations, will it count for something? It all boils down to the final game. Coco is right on the cusp there. He might just catch Manny just on that corner there, but Manny is going to spot him first and drops him immediately, and Coco is spotted immediately as well. But the grenade sent towards Roach. Roach is knocked away. Afro Esports are cooking, and they're moving 1 step at a time, eliminating 1 player after the next. But Peachy is going to be spotted by Stone as well, dropped away. 2 eliminations now coming in for Cyclone Shield Esports. If Roach can get picked up, it might just be the advantage that they'll be looking for. Cyclone Shield biting their fingers and holding on for dear life. It is the WAPL finals. Who can take it home? Fire, there's so much chaos going on, but Afro Esports are still hanging on by a thread. As you can see there, Hunter is trying to get that revive on Peachy. This might be the defining place. A 3 versus 3, 1 player knocked to piece. Cyclone Shield still cooking, and equally Afro Esports as well, but they do have Play Zone, who's going to take it though. There's so much chaos going on here, as Roach is going to be picked up, and now is the opportunity for this kind of engagement. Cyclone Shield, the stronger team when it comes to engagements like this, because the Play Zone has moved towards the north. It's moved away from Afro Esports. Now Cyclone Shield have the opportunity. Fire, it's been given to them. Can they take it?
Oh my God, these are the final moments of the WAPL right here. The Boston Cyclone Shields are looking to grab home that victory, take that crown away from the Boston Invictus. Afro on the other end is fighting to see if they can get themselves all the way into that top 3 spot and take home, some piece of that entire prize money right there. You can see Peachy and his boys being absolutely calm. They're just waiting and biting for the opportunity to take down one of the players right there from CLS, Hunter and Lens. What can they do in this final moments? Stoner and the rest of the guys are obviously just itching. They know it's all down to this tiny little moments. Those eliminations could really count for them at the end of the entire leaderboard. If they can grab themselves those 3 extra eliminations, they will be ending this game with about 19 points, and that may just be enough to win and seal the game for them. Boom, goes Peachy. It's still
Peachy
off as they are down to just 2 players. Roach is a magnificent.
No, it's a trade 1 versus 1. Manny's there from the rear end. It's a 1 versus 1. It's a 2 versus 1. Cyclone Shield claim the chicken. Do they steal the chicken dinner? They do. They get it. 9 eliminations, 2 of them and the chicken dinner to boot. Did they do enough? Roach, Manny, Danny Brown. Did they do enough, Fire? They did a fantastic job. They stole it away. 3 chicken dinners out of 4. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Cyclone Shield with a fantastic last day finish. Oh my days, man. Oh my days, man.
I don't know.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know, Fire. I don't know. Did they do enough? I don't know. I do not know. I have no idea. I have no idea. My math, I can't even math right now because I don't even know, man. I have absolutely no idea. What if they did enough? I mean, that is 19 points, but was it enough? 19 points, that puts them into 120 something, but so does Invictus. Invictus also have 120 something.
Yeah.
But I think Cyclone Shield have done it. I think they have done it. I think they did. I think they just did. I think they clutched it, Fire. I think they clutched it. It would be absolutely insane if they did. Because if it is a tie, they win on chicken dinner still. I think they did. I think they did.
So Invictus coming into this game had 118 points. Does 5th get any placement points at all? 5th.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2.
Okay,
or 2.
So
1 or 2. No, I think wait.
Yeah, we need to know. But even if it's 1, Invictus would have minimum of 123 points. And Cyclone Shields with the 19 points would be 1 point behind Invictus.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane to start doing the math. But let's not forget the performance, that the guys from Fowl Play gave us tonight. 12 eliminations. They were the most attacking team. They reduced a significant number of eliminations, available, to the rest of these teams. But, big shout out to Simple there. He did a fantastic job. 6 eliminations just for him. MVP. At least the guys from Foul Play did go out with a bang. 12 eliminations. I mean, we talked about this. If you're capable of doing it, do it from the jump. I mean, they went on attack mode. I've never seen Foul Play on attack mode the entirety of these finals. I always see them landing on teams, getting blown away very quickly. But in this game, ladies and gentlemen, Foul Play gave us 12 eliminations, the best ever performance they have had in the entirety, of the finals. And that she gives us, it's all about, okay, let's give you guys a potential of what we can actually do. That's really what it is. And I've seen this happen so many times, so many different teams. They just show us what they're capable of and then they fall back. But big shout out to the guys from Foul Play. 12 eliminations. I mean, best performance of the finals that they've had so far. And that is just showing us yet that they can do it. They can make it happen. And that is a big achievement.
If my math is correct, then Invictus wins this particular one with 1 point. 1 point, my guy. 1 point. 123 versus 122. CLS being 1 point behind the boys from Invictus. Invictus put up a massive performance yesterday to continue to give themselves huge chances to win this particular one. But my goodness, what a fight coming in for the boys from CLS. They got 3 chicken dinners in the finals and still still couldn't take the crown off the boys from Invictus. That's just got to show you that this new point system does favor kills, does favor getting those kills above anything else. The boys right there from Invictus got a total of 93 kills in this particular finals. No other team came close to them when it came to them when it comes to the amount of eliminations that they got, man. Priests. We'll take a look at the entire leaderboard. But if my math is mathing me,
Fire, let your math stop mathing. Let the people behind the scenes do their job right there. But I still have to commend Fowl play for their brilliant performance so far coming into this final game. A big shout out to them. They did a fantastic job. I have never seen them in this damage sequence region at all. So this is the first time I'm seeing them in the entirety of the finals, and they did go out there with a bang. But ladies and gentlemen, Invictus are your WAPL champions with 125 points, 3 points clear of Cyclone Shield. Invictus were able to hold on and hang on going into the final game. They were able to still score some eliminations in the last match. They did go out very early, but their strategy of getting some eliminations before getting eliminated still continued to pay off. Congratulations to Invictus.
it was I think the thing for them is that the boys from 03 weren't able to perform as much as they probably would have wanted to in this last game. And if they had put up a performance like the boys from Cyclone Shield had, then 03 would have definitely won it. But somehow, they just came up short in that final moment. And kudos to Invictus. They got themselves 93 kills. The only team the next team, after them is boys from 03 with 68 kills right there. They're more than 25 kills. 25 kills more than the next team. I mean, that's a whole lot. That's something. That's the amount of kills you want to put on the board if you want to be grabbing, that victory right there. 93, man. What?
Ooh.
All right. I wish I was there with the boys Invictus. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they would be elated.
Absolutely. Especially with Shekwes coming out of I mean, it's a really, really great story for them because a lot of their players supposedly came out of retirement, haven't really played for a long time. Pinswell is one of them, even Rogue Baby, Shekwes coming out of retirement as well. There are a bunch of players who are very great players but haven't really being together as a team, a new team coming on and providing this quality of gameplay, not just doing well, but how they did it, how they constantly got the kills is magnificent. And I hope to see them continue to perform, at this level in, other competitions.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, I believe, that we will be calling it, quits, but Fire, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties with my feed and my camera here, so I believe the camera will be cutting to you any moment from now, so you have to just turn on your camera on your end and just close us out for the night. But big shout out to Invictus, the champions of West Africa. As far as I'm concerned, it is very tricky though, because this team did not make it into the the Rainier, the Hamatan League for the Nigerian Pro League. But big shout out to Invictus still.